Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very exciting episode of the Nicholas Snow Show on PromoHomo.TV, which expanded into a full-fledged broadcast network this past summer with 33 episodes across 5 series. And I'm very much involved now in the fall season. So I'm just so excited about today's broadcast. I mean, who doesn't love a success story, especially when it involves a young couple in love who pivoted during the pandemic to empower others? I'm talking about Jesus Gutierrez and Sergio Aragon, founders of HIGHRPOWRD.com. Their slogan, as you can see on the screen, is "Be you, be proud, year-round. Thoughtfully designed apparel for all identities." And I've came to know them out of a press release, but I get tons of press releases all the time. But their story to me is beautiful and compelling, and I'm going to have them live and in person coming up, which is really thrilling. They're just inspiring to me. And of course, I'm going to be the old white guy in the room. I feel really middle-aged when I'm interviewing. I don't even know how to describe younger generations. I don't even know what the age range is, for example, for millennials. So maybe I'll get schooled on that. They're smiling backstage because I can see them right now. At any rate, I also wanted to thank everyone that supports my show. I just launched, as you can see over my head now, a Patreon channel, which means that you can subscribe to PromoHomo.TV for as little as $3 a month. And I have 3 patrons so far: Brad Fergie, Francis Giles, and Ron DeHart. So if you're in a position to support this show that way, I love you. If not, just share the episode because that helps as well. So as promised, I'm going to be back with our special guests after this.
You're with me, it's alright. Together, on our lives, a new start is inside. We're falling, it feels right. It's okay to hold me. You know where I wanna be. It's okay to hold me.
So childhood best friends turned power couple Jesus Gutierrez and Sergio Aragon were working full-time, Jesus in merchandising at Cole Haan and Sergio in digital commerce at Tiffany & Company, when they noticed that LGBTQ plus focused merchandise was being released only seasonally, particularly during Pride Month rather than year-round. So in 2019, they launched an online store called Gay Pride Apparel. Who knew that URL would still be available in 2019, but congratulations, guys. And so they launched the LGBTQ plus themed T-shirts as a side gig while keeping their jobs. Gradually, with print-on-demand company Printful handling printing, warehousing, and fulfillment, they expanded into other apparel and accessories like phone cases and tote bags with specific merch. This is what I love about this. And this is Transgender Awareness Month and week. And tomorrow, Friday, November 20th, if you watch between now and then and not after the fact, is Transgender Day of Remembrance. And this company is so trans inclusive, among other things. But anyway, they have specific merch for customers identifying as asexual, bisexual, gay, intersex, lesbian, non-binary, queer, pansexual, and trans. First year revenue was only in the low five figures. Then the COVID-19 pandemic struck. Both quit their jobs to dedicate full time to the business, and everything changed. I could go on and on, but I frankly don't want to wait to bring our special guest onto the show. So welcome, Sergio and Jesus.
Hi.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited that you are here. Now, you guys know each other from New York City, correct?
No.
It goes way past.
Wait. Okay, so I know you knew each other from the 6th grade. I don't know why I thought it was New York. But, all right, so you tell me, you were in the 6th grade together. Where?
So we were both born and raised Phoenicians from Phoenix, Arizona. So we grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. We went to school together starting in 5th grade. We're trying to trace back when we actually met.
But I'm pretty sure it's 6th grade. Yeah.
We think it's 6th grade.
I want to stop you just for a second because I'm gonna feel very old right now. But what year was it when you were in the 5th grade in Phoenix?
2005.
2005, I think.
Okay, okay, so I graduated from Arizona State University in 1985. So I just had to throw that. Yes, I know.
I'm a Sun Devil too.
Okay, go Sun Devils. Go Sun Devils. Well, I heard that about you.
Yeah.
So, all right, so continue.
We met in 6th grade. We were best friends for, I think, majority of middle school and then like high school. Went off to college, so I went to the good school, ASU. But we stayed friends, and then after college, we were like, why does every boy suck? We're like, everyone sucks.
We come back to each other. We're always talking about everyone. So then we were just like, why are we wasting time?
Yeah.
So
we started dating. Yeah. And now it's been 3-ish years of dating, right? Yeah, 3 years.
You know, I find that so fascinating when I hear about people who were friends and all of a sudden they discover they have deeper, more broader feelings for each other.
Yeah.
I just, it's a lovely thing, but it's just hard to wrap my head around.
Same here sometimes.
Sometimes we're like, what?
Yeah.
Was it weird for these people that known you your whole lives that all of a sudden you're a couple?
Surprisingly, not really. They were kind of like
easy with their family. Everyone from our friends were like, "This is perfect." It's just.
I think people like expected it almost at one point. They're like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Well, I'm so glad it worked out. Now, how did the two of you end up in New York?
We literally visited for his birthday, and a month later we were like, why are we wasting our time in Arizona? We want to build our careers, we want to start living life, and we just literally packed our bags without having an apartment, bought a one-way ticket to New York City, and we were there.
Yeah.
You must have had some savings to do that.
No, actually.
Literally, like
you had. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So you had no savings, no apartment. You basically got a one-way ticket. Were there credit cards in the picture? I mean,
no. It was just a couple paychecks.
Yeah, I think we had like 2 packs maybe
each. Yeah.
And we found a job it was
super. Yeah.
We were just like living the New York dream. We lived. Yeah. We were just like, we're broke. We're unemployed. We're living in a shoebox. We are learning.
Until we found jobs and everything.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, how did you find the shoebox? That's what I want to know.
It was all through Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Literally. The internet has.
Okay. Okay, so one of the local television networks in my town has a segment called Silver Linings, where they look at just that, the silver linings in this dark cloud of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you two clearly have that, I'm guessing, because without the pandemic, I bet you wouldn't be where you are today with your company. Am I right? And would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah. Sergio and I worked full time, obviously, our entire time in New York, and then when the pandemic hit, which was, I believe, like mid March, we were sent home to work from home.
2 weeks.
Yeah, they're like, pack your bags for 2 weeks. We'll be back in the office soon. Months, like a couple of months passed by or whatever. We're still at home.
Overworked.
And being at home allowed us to. We were spending less time in the subway, less time commuting, less time out, I guess, in general. So we really we had our corporate computer on one side, we had our Gay Pride Pro computer on the other side all day long, and we were just like multitasking. And I'm sure our day jobs are trying to slip a little bit, but we won't talk about that part. So we just started investing more time, and I know COVID has been like rough time for a lot of people, and it's rough for us too, just being quarantined and seeing everything happening. But thanks to the pandemic and us being home so much, we were able to kind of
focus on it and like build our passion and just grow from it.
Well, I relate to that completely because the same thing happened to me. I mean, I'm the only person in my COVID bubble. I had a neighbor in my COVID bubble across the patio, social distance coffee kind of thing, and he moved to LA. So I took all this time and energy and I expanded PromoHomo.TV to where I've always wanted it to be. I'm so dying for a hug though, and at least you guys have each other during this bubble. So my guess is now you're based in Mexico City, which I know, and my guess is that you're there because of the cost of living. It's easier to afford your life. So how did that move to Mexico happen?
Similar to the one from New York.
Yeah.
We were like
a ticket, a bus, a bus. You took a bus?
No, we just took a plane.
A plane.
Oh, good. You've upgraded.
Yeah, we were like, we need to save rent. We need to just take a little break from New York City and just like refocus and be re-inspired again and just.
Yeah, you have to understand that, I guess. For us, and like you're living in New York, half of what you pay for is like the city, right? And I'm not saying New York is dead because I love New York, but after being quarantined in this shoebox apartment with a roommate, which we love to death.
Oh, a roommate! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, she was great.
She was great. We love her, but we're a couple, and 6 months of like just that. You kind of just try to figure out where to go next, and
figure out how not to kill each other as much as you might love each other.
Exactly. So we were like. We came to visit Mexico City recently before the pandemic, and we're like, it's a good place. And we're both Mexican American. So I think another thing that drove us here was trying to get back in touch with our roots.
Yeah.
And honestly, part of the reason we wanted to come to is when we came to visit, we love the queer culture and the LGBT culture here. So we wanted to see if we can kind of tap into that and get inspired by that here.
Well, from everything I know, and of course you guys know much more than I do about this, the LGBTQI plus civil rights movement is alive and well and advancing quickly in Mexico.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I love in the About Us section on your website, it says Gay Pride Apparel is a first generation Mexican American and LGBTQ plus owned brand focused on empowerment, pride, and authenticity for year-round pride. We make high-quality products for all identities. We have been trusted with over 10,000 orders in 2 short years of being around, and we are proud of every single order. It goes on to say that you've partnered in the past with HBO, Rhode Island Pride, Queen's Pride, Brita Filter, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12, and Drag Out the Vote. So tell me a little bit about sort of the HBO and the RuPaul connections. I think that those would be most compelling to the audience.
Yeah, so
HBO was insane.
Yeah.
We're Here. We partnered with actually their show called We're Here, which we watched during quarantine. It was a show about 3 drag queens, Eureka, Shangela, and Bob the Drag Queen, and they go throughout each little town in America and they show people to be accepted and loved and about being who they are. And that's exactly what our brand represents.
Yeah.
And one day we were literally crying watching the show, and Jesus over here literally messaged the executive producer of HBO, we're here, was like, hey, I love your show. Send us some content just so we can post it.
I literally said, send me some pictures. I just want to, because we have a decent following. I was like, I want to post it on our social channels. Three messages later,
we
a couple of calls later.
Exclusive capsule collab for them for Pride season, and it was
amazing. And spoiler alert, it's coming back soon.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I forgot to tell my viewers that if they ask questions and comment live, that they may be put on screen just like this. And one of my regular viewers, he has a project called the Gay Barchives Project, and he's saying that it never would have happened either without the pandemic. It kind of put all of us into our
lining. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have another viewer from Australia. I guess I'm kind of lucky as I'm in Perth, Washington. See, I went right to Australia because last night we had someone watching from Australia, but moved back here from New York to take care of my mother, whose Alzheimer's is progressing one prison to another.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry that you're going through that, Andrew, but I commend you for being there for your family during this very difficult time. That's extremely beautiful and noble.
Yeah.
So, how did RuPaul come along?
So,
it is Western Australia.
You're right.
That's WA means Western Australia. Thank you for that, Andrew.
Yeah, me too.
So American of me.
Yeah, well, I thought well, Perth is on Australia. Then I saw WA. At any rate, RuPaul, how did that happen?
RuPaul's Drag Race. We actually partnered with Brita Filter,
one of the contestants from season 12. And when we went to visit New York City, we went to all these gay bars, and Brita Filter stood out to us. We watched her show on Fusion before visiting prior to New York City, and we were like, we can't wait to go see Brita. We love her. She's a performer. She's so good. And then we just built this relationship with her, and she was actually one of our biggest supporters in the beginning of Gay Pride apparel. And
and we hosted her merch shop. And again, it was just me sending out a direct message. So never be afraid to send a dry, cold direct message on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, because it's led to amazing things for us.
I want to get into the depth and quality of your product, but I'm going to just share something with you that I actually haven't shared with anybody yet. I did do one social media post. So as of November 10th, 2020, PromoHomo.TV is trademarked.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's completely trademarked, and it's my retirement plan. So your brand pillars: acceptance. We promote acceptance and equality for all via our apparel, social media, and everything in between. Because I liked your Facebook page, I very quickly was in getting your feed, and I just loved the messaging and the diversity of your feed. And because of the depth and width and breadth of content in your feed, I'm curious, how many people are involved in your company? Is it just the two of you, or do you have employees now?
I love this question.
Literally, you're seeing the whole company right here.
Us two, yeah.
I feel like we need to break out on the dance floor and have a disco ball or something. But I know what you mean, because I'm running a TV network, and it's me.
Exactly. People always message us would love to get in touch with your ex department, whatever. Congratulations, you reached that department.
Yes, exactly. That reminds me of a commercial where someone answers the phone and they ask for a particular department. They say, "One moment, please." He changes his voice and says, "Hi, you've reached such and such."
Puts a different shirt on or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Andrew says, "Congratulations," by the way.
Thank you.
And so I want to actually. You're offering you have a Black Friday special. I'm putting it on. So tell me about how this pre-Black Friday sale is working.
By
the way, to my viewers, I'm not getting a commission. I just love and support these guys. So tell me how that's working.
This deal is actually site-wide. So it's 15% off anything on the site. Just use that code. And then we have some fun sales coming. Starting tomorrow, another fun, more diverse sale on what are we doing? sweatshirts and hoodies. So
Yeah.
they can use this tonight or they can wait for tomorrow, whatever is
I
fun.
know.
And then we have some more fun stuff coming down the line for Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
I actually, because I can go like this, your website is now live on my screen.
I
So
love that.
this is your homepage, and it's such a fun looking page, and I love the diversity of your models and merchandise. Sounds gay. I'm in. Yes. Yeah, I really like that, and all of these different wonderful collections. And then in the main menu, you can. I have to say, this is really cool. I think this was brilliant. Maybe you both came up with this, but who came up with Shop by Letter?
I'm gonna take credit and said I did it at once, but then we worked on it together.
It's so great. You can shop by letter, and your choices are lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, intersex, asexual, and there might be more if I scroll down. I can't scroll down from this particular control.
Yeah, there's like
I feel like our customers also helped us curate
Oh
this.
yeah, that's true.
Just because like we're always paying attention to what our customers say, and whenever they were like asking for like a lesbian like shirt or a bisexual like sticker or an asexual mug, we created these collections so they can just go there and like search whatever product they want, and hopefully we can make them happy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have brought up your Facebook. Call me by my preferred pronouns.
Yeah.
And I love the embroidery.
Fun fact, that's actually my ex.
Be gay, does it say be gay, do crime?
Yeah.
Oh, because being gay is illegal? Is that the...
It was back in the day, it was a phrase used for that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and then you're posting great news. For example, like this headline about the first housing complex purchased by trans community for trans community.
If you go back, there was a really funny comment on that one.
The fact that it is in a place called Queens is oddly fitting. That's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
That's great. So Andrew is telling us that I think he had a disco ball at his apartment on West 83rd in New York.
Ooh, we should have came up.
I know.
Yes. And his last party had 150 naked people, if I'm understanding him correctly. From all of the categories you represent.
Yes.
So tell me, what's next for you guys that you know of right now?
Trying to stay healthy and safe, honestly, because I think COVID's getting a little scary again. But as far as business, I think once COVID is controlled or whatever we want to call it, we really want to tap into something that we've realized along the journey of starting this and growing it is that a lot of our customers and a lot of people who kind of need gay pride apparel and it's important to them, like a core, is people from like the rural communities or small towns that don't have such, access to whatever it is. It's like, acceptance or just the environment is not accepting enough. And I think we would love to kind of take the We're Here approach as that show that we worked with and visit these small towns and do pop-ups or do some kind of in-person things to kind of bring pride to them and show people like that there's a community out there for them.
Yeah.
I love this radical queer hoodie.
Yeah, this is part of we've collaborated with an artist who, his name is Adam Dalton Blake, and he's a designer for bonobos, and he's just a queer designer, and we collaborated on a capsule collection with him. All of his stuff is super cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys you might be too young for this, have you ever heard of the group Radical Fairies?
No, actually,
Google it.
Familiar.
Google it.
Okay.
You'll be fascinating. You'll be fascinated. You are fascinating. You will be fascinated. Now, if you'll allow me, you guys are young Latinos in the United States, and now you're spending time in Mexico, but you have lived through the horrors of the Trump administration as young Latinos. And I'm wondering if you would talk from a personal perspective, what it has been like for you to see to have to fight this. Well, you know more than I do what you've had
Yeah.
to fight. I'm seeing it from the outside.
Well,
Um,
like I feel like we've been fighting it for forever. I
yeah,
feel like growing up in Phoenix, Arizona, like really taught us and shaped us into who we are, and just like growing up in an all Mexican school and like going to other like school districts and seeing like your white like classmates and like just like growing up with that like
yeah,
perspective and like Arizona being really red and like
which is really sad.
yeah, and like with SB 1070 happening like around like 11th grade and us protesting, like leaving school to march for like our parents' rights,
Yeah,
like legal rights, was just like
it's been disheartening, I guess, to see, because we lived through a very red Arizona growing up. I think our whole lives pretty much, and it finally flipped, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. We were like, "It's not gonna flip." We're so pessimistic, but it flipped to blue.
It flipped blue, and then you flipped out in surprise.
Yeah. I was like, wow, my podcast interview did not last long. But we grew up in a very red state, so you know we almost always felt covered by Obama and his policies and having a blue like president, and then it flipped, and we kind of became we were under attack in our state and then under attack in our nation.
Oh, yeah.
And the past 4 years, which feels like 10,000 years, honestly. I just remember like the night when he got elected and being at the gay bar drinking at Charlie's, and everyone's just like, from the moment he was elected, he was devastated, right? And I think it's been especially hard, I guess, like you said, Sergio, growing up Hispanic, and a lot of our friends were DACA, which is Deferred Action for Children. What I forgot the arrival, I think, and seeing them lose their status and all this stuff. It's just been sad, but it's over.
Well, hopefully it will all be over by January 22nd, when President-elect Biden will have spent one night in the White House. That is when I'm going to be relieved.
Yeah, there was a tweet that's like, President-elect Biden just won the election for the 100th time this week.
Yeah, exactly. And Randy Rainbow says, I refuse to refer to him as Mr. President until he wins Georgia 3 times.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really important that we acknowledge. So, one of the goals of my show is connecting the circuitry of humanity. And I think it's really important that we connect dots across time and space to see how we have achieved what we've achieved. And the reason that I say that is because you guys are fantastic role models, creating a product line that gives people the opportunity to feel empowered, but to also empower others. And anytime, anywhere, someone is wearing a piece of your merchandise, they're in a sense coming out at least as allies. And they're putting everyone into their own conversations, internally or across the board, out loud.
That's so beautiful.
So the reason that I say that is, let's go back a few decades. So I came out in Arizona in 1983. And in 1985 at Arizona State University, I got 6 credit hours in the Department of Public Programs for choosing a lesbian and gay, for creating an internship that it created an LGBT speakers bureau, and to share what we knew at the time on about HIV and AIDS. And this was in 1985. And in 1987, I was considering taking a nonprofit position that would put me into the statewide media in Arizona. And I remember my mom, so much happened after that, so we had a happy ending. But my mom said, if you do this, things will never be the same between us again.
Yeah.
But then decades before me, other people were still walking this walk. And I think it's fascinating that we have these Arizona roots. I was born in Tucson, grew up in Flagstaff, and went to ASU.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes.
Love Tucson.
Is there anything that you would like to add that we haven't talked about so far?
No, I think that I always love talking about this stuff and meeting people like you that are so passionate about the community and just, especially getting like your perspective and like just we're lucky to be able to do this and that we are in a time that we can do this. And like you said, like people who buy from us and they always send us really sweet notes, and it's like for them it's on a t-shirt, it's like a way for them to express themselves and to, like you said, let it be known that like this is who they are. So yeah, just thank you so much for this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. We're not ending immediately. I want to remind people that there's a pre-Black Friday sale, 15% off with code PROUD15. I imagine you're always having specials and deals. And you mentioned on November 20th, there's another special that hits your website, and people can follow you on Instagram. You have over, 40,000 followers on Instagram?
Yeah,
we
just reached 40,000. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
For being that I manage the social media by myself with Sergio's help, it's really great growth.
Well, you have all the links to share this broadcast, and tomorrow the whole broadcast will go on IGTV.
Perfect.
And I'll, of course, tag you. And I'm going to do some shopping myself because I love what you're doing. What would you gentlemen like to say in conclusion?
Just again, thank you, and it's just been a crazy ride.
it's just crazy, like the amount of like podcasts and interviews that we do, and it's just like it's a very nice way to like, because we have some low days that we just question everything. We literally quit our jobs, we moved to a different place. Like, what are we doing? But like the community like this and like the support that we get, and then like the customer messages that we get is just like we do this because of everyone.
Yeah, someone recently asked us for financial goals, and we're like, I think Sergio gave like they're like, what are your financial goals for next year? And Sergio was like, or no, they said, how do you determine success? And Sergio says, well, if we get at least 4 or 5 like customer emails a day that are really, really nice and they really feel something attached to our product. And the guy was like, no, like, what are your financial goals? And I was like, well, we can't pay rent with sweet notes. But yeah, thank you for this and for the community. And yeah.
You're welcome. I did actually think of something else I wanted to ask you. So in New York City, you lived in a shoebox. I'm guessing that you don't live in a shoebox in Mexico City.
No, it's a pretty nice dollhouse.
Oh, it's a dollhouse. Does that mean a small house?
No, it's actually an apartment, but it's 2 bedrooms now versus 1 shoebox.
Oh, and no roommates.
No
roommates.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the show, and we had viewers as far away as Australia who says he's going to order, and I really appreciate your time.
No, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Take care.
So you gotta love those guys. I do. Oh, I'm gonna bring you back onto camera. I forgot to ask you. How old is a millennial, and are you younger than millennials? Where does that fit?
So we are technically we're at the cusp of Gen Z and millennial. I believe millennial starts at 90s or ends at 96. It's either 95 or 96, which is why we're in the cusp. Because we were born in 95, so we're like Gen Z millennials.
Okay, well, thank you for making me feel very old. I appreciate it.
Stop.
Thank you so much. I love you guys. Have a great one.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
So they're fabulous, and I'm old, and you've watched the show, so I participated. I've appreciated that you participated, and I'll see you next time.
You're with me, it's alright. Together, all our lives, a new star is inside.